The city of Valora slept under a cold silver sky. Tall towers shimmered with dim lights as the rain fell without end. Streets were quiet, washed clean by the storm. The hum of machines filled the air, the steady rhythm of a world too busy to care. On one empty street, a little girl stood alone. Her small figure trembled under the weight of a wet blanket. She held something in her hands, a small round device that glowed faintly blue. The light on its surface blinked with a slow pulse, counting down numbers that seemed to matter only to her. Days. 0 hours. 0 minutes. Mira looked at the numbers again and whispered softly to herself, 3 days left. Her voice broke as she said it. She did not cry loudly, only in small gasps that mixed with the sound of the rain. People passed by her once or twice that evening. A few looked her way, but none stopped. Everyone in Valora was used to strange sights. Street techs, broken bots, children from shelters, they were part of the background. Mira was just another face to them, but she wasn't. Inside her chest, a faint ticking sound could be heard if one listened closely. It was not the beat of a heart. It was the hum of a power cell slowly running down. Far away from that same street, on a hill outside the city, stood an old mansion with a metal roof and wide glass walls. It had once been alive with light and laughter. Now it was quiet and closed, covered in vines. That night, a black hovercar stopped at the gate. The doors opened and a man stepped out. He looked tired, older than his years, with eyes that carried shadows of the past. His name was Ryan Hale. He had once been one of the richest men in Valora, the man who built ships that could travel beyond the solar edge, the one who dreamed of saving the world through science. But dreams had a price. Years ago, an experiment he funded failed. It took his wife and daughter away. He left the planet soon after, spending his time in silence among the stars. And now, after 10 long years, he was home again. Ryan walked to the mansion gate. The system scanned his face and voice. The old steel doors slid open with a slow hiss. Inside, dust covered everything. The air smelled like old paper and rain. He moved through the hall, each step echoing softly. He paused in the living room. On the wall, a faded photograph hung above the fireplace. A woman with bright eyes, a little girl smiling beside her. His family? He looked at the photo for a long time, not saying a word. When lightning flashed outside, he turned toward the window, and there, through the curtain of rain, he saw a small figure near the gate. At first, he thought it was a reflection, but the shape moved. Tiny shoulders shivered in the rain. He frowned and stepped closer. When he opened the door, the sound of the storm filled the room. He walked out into the night, coat pulled tight around him. The girl was sitting by the gate, hugging her knees. The little glowing device in her hands lit up her face. "Hey," he said, his voice calm. "What are you doing out here?" The girl looked up, startled. She hesitated, then spoke quietly. "I was waiting." "For who?" Ryan asked. "For you," she said. He blinked. "For me? I don't even know you." "Yes, you do." She lifted the small device. The glow brightened, showing a symbol on the surface, an old family crest. Ryan's crest. He froze for a moment. He had not seen that emblem in years. It belonged to the Hale Foundation, the same company that had built Project Eden, the one that had taken everything from him. "Where did you get that?" he asked, his voice low. She looked down. "It was given to me. They said it would stop when I find you." He knelt beside her. She was no older than 8 or 9. Her hair stuck to her face, her eyes wide and tired. He could see the faint glow beneath her collarbone, a small blue light pulsing through her skin. "What is that light?" he asked gently. "My heart," she said simply. "It's not working right. I only have 3 days before it stops." Ryan felt a strange chill run through him. "Who told you that?" "The voice inside this." She lifted the round device again. "It said you could fix it. It said you made me." Ryan stared at her. His mind raced. He remembered fragments. The scientists, the prototypes, the test subjects for Eden. Artificial hearts powered by neural empathy signals. He had shut the project down after the accident. No child should have been part of it. He looked at her again. She seemed too real, too alive to be a machine. Her lips trembled and tears mixed with the rain on her cheeks. "Please," she whispered. "I don't want to stop existing." Ryan sighed and looked toward his mansion. "Come inside. You'll catch your death out here." Inside, he gave her a towel and a warm blanket. She sat on the couch, staring at the large room filled with old furniture and quiet machines. The fire crackled weakly in the corner. "Your name is Mira?" he asked. She nodded. "Do you know where you came from?" "I woke up in a white room," she said softly. There were voices. They said I was special. Then they left. The lights went out. I walked until I found the city. Then the timer started. Ryan sat down across from her. The glow of the fire showed his tired face. He didn't know what to believe. Maybe she was a lost child from one of the new biolabs. Maybe this was some cruel trick from the past he had tried to forget. Still, there was something about her voice, something familiar. He asked, "You said the device told you to find me." "Why me?" She turned the device over in her hands. A soft voice came from it, faint but clear. "Primary key, Ryan Hale. Authorization required to restore system." Ryan felt his chest tighten. That voice was part of the Eden Project. It was a system command, but it should not even exist anymore. "How long has it been saying that?" he asked. "Since I woke up," Mira said. "Every time I sleep, it shows me pictures. A house on a hill. This house. And a woman smiling. I think she's my mother." Ryan's breath caught for a moment. His late wife's face flashed in his memory. He looked at the girl again. The curve of her cheek. The way she tilted her head. It was impossible, but she looked almost like his daughter used to. He stood up and walked toward the window. Rain tapped softly on the glass. His reflection looked back at him, older, sadder. Mira spoke again, her voice small. "Are you angry with me?" He turned to her, surprised. "No, why would I be angry?" "Because I came here," she said. "Because I remind you of someone." Ryan stared at her for a long time. The firelight flickered across his face. "You remind me," he said slowly, "of everything I lost." Mira lowered her head. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted to live." The room fell silent except for the soft crackle of fire. Later that night, Ryan led her to a guest room. He gave her a blanket and a pillow. She lay down, clutching the glowing device close to her chest. As he turned to leave, she spoke again, almost in a whisper. "Thank you for letting me stay." He paused. "You're welcome." Then she said something that made him stop completely. "I remember your voice," she murmured. "When I was dreaming in the white room, I heard you say, 'Hold on, little star.'" Ryan felt his heart skip. That was what he used to call his daughter every night before she slept. "Little star," he turned slowly. "What did you say?" But she was already asleep, breathing softly, the blue light under her skin pulsing like a gentle heartbeat. Ryan stood there for a long time, watching her. The rain outside began to fade, leaving only the quiet hum of machines in the distance. He walked back to the living room and sat near the fire. He poured a cup of water and held it in both hands, lost in thought. The edges of memory pressed against his mind. The lab, the bright screens, the moment everything went wrong. He had buried it deep, but the past had found him again. He looked toward the hall where Mira slept and whispered softly to himself, "Who are you really?" The device on the table flickered once as if it had heard him. The numbers continued to count down. Days. 23 hours, 59 minutes. And somewhere deep inside the mansion, an old machine powered on by itself for the first time in 10 years. Its screen glowed with a message. Project Eden. Core signal detected. Subject reactivation in progress. Ryan didn't see it, but he would soon, because the little girl who cried in the rain was about to change everything he thought he knew about life, death, and what it truly meant to be human. The morning sun rose over Valora, casting pale golden light across the streets. Rain had stopped, leaving puddles that reflected the tall towers and neon signs. Mira woke early, blinking at the soft light. The blue glow of her device had dimmed during the night, but it was still faintly alive, a reminder of the countdown she could not escape. She sat up and looked around the room. The walls were old, lined with books and small machines that hummed quietly. She could hear someone moving in the next room. That must be Ryan, she thought, the man who had come back to his mansion after years of silence, the man who had found her in the rain. Ryan walked in carrying a tray with a simple breakfast. He set it down on the small table beside her bed. "Eat something," he said softly. "You need strength." Mira took the plate but only nibbled at it. Her mind was elsewhere. She could feel the pulse under her chest, the timer in her device, and the strange connection she felt with Ryan. There was something about him she could not explain, something familiar that tugged at her heart. After breakfast, Ryan led her to the study. He sat behind a large desk covered with papers and old devices. Mira perched on the edge of a chair, watching him curiously. "I need to understand what is happening," Ryan said. "You mentioned a white room, voices, and a timer." "I need to know everything," Mira nodded. "I woke up in a bright white room. There were machines, lights, and many screens. People were there too, but they didn't talk to me. They just watched. Then they left. And I was alone. I heard voices sometimes, like whispers. They told me I was special. They said someone had made me, and that only that person could help me survive. That's why I came here." Ryan frowned. He remembered Project Eden, the program he had started years ago. It was designed to save children who were too sick to live. Artificial hearts powered by synthetic empathy and memory data. But the project had failed. One night, an accident had killed his wife and daughter. He had left the project, leaving the machines and memories behind. He had thought the project was gone forever, but now Mira sat before him, and the blue light under her chest pulsed steadily. She was alive, more than just alive, and somehow connected to the program he had abandoned. "You said the device has a countdown," Ryan said. "Is it counting your life? Or something else?" "It's my heart," Mira said softly. "The light in my chest and the device, they are connected. If the numbers reach 0, I will stop breathing. The voice said it cannot be fixed without you." Ryan closed his eyes and leaned back. He felt the old weight of guilt pressing down on him. He had left Eden incomplete. He had left his daughter behind, and now it seemed that somehow she or a piece of her had survived. He opened a drawer and pulled out old files. He had to see for himself. Documents with faded text, images of children, designs of artificial hearts, and memory transfer systems. One image made him stop. It was a schematic of a small child. Her face was blurred, but the shape of the hair and the expression reminded him painfully of his daughter. "Where did you get this device?" Ryan asked again, trying to keep his voice steady. "I don't know," Mira said. "It was given to me when I woke up. It told me to find you. It told me you would save me." Ryan felt a chill. The system was still alive. Eden was not gone. Somehow it had preserved a copy of the children it was meant to save. Somehow Mira was alive because of it. He opened the device carefully. The screen flickered. Lines of code appeared, then a series of images. Mira saw herself in bright rooms, small and alone. She saw the machines, screens, and panels. And then a familiar face appeared. A woman smiling, holding a little girl. "Ryan's wife, his daughter," Mira gasped. "That's her? That's my mother?" Ryan looked at her, his throat tight. "Yes, that was your mother, and maybe in some way you were connected to her." She looked at him, eyes wide. I don't understand. How can I be here if she's gone?" Ryan shook his head slowly. "I don't know. I thought Eden had failed. But it seems it found a way. You were made from the project, but not like a machine. You have memories, feelings. You are more than I imagined." Mira clutched the device to her chest. "I feel like I know things I shouldn't. Sometimes I dream about my mother and a warm house, and I see you. You were always there in the dreams. You told me to hold on, but I didn't know who you were." Ryan's mind raced. The science was incredible and frightening. The project had preserved not just data but consciousness. Somehow part of his daughter had survived in Mira. She was real, human, alive. "We have to fix this," Ryan said. "The timer. If it reaches 0, you could die. But the Eden system, it has the power to save you. We just need to reconnect it." Mira nodded. "I want to live." Her voice was firm now. "I don't want the timer to end." Ryan stood up and grabbed his coat. "Then we will go to the facility. The Eden core is still out there, abandoned in the desert. It's dangerous, but it's the only way." Mira followed him, holding the device tightly. She looked out the window one last time. The city stretched beneath them, glowing softly in the morning light. She felt a strange mixture of hope and fear. The journey was long. The roads were wet and empty, stretching into the distance. Mira sat in the passenger seat of Ryan's hover car, watching the world pass by. She noticed small details: the patterns of rain on the glass, the flicker of distant towers, the quiet hum of machines. She realized she had never seen the world like this before. Alive, real, and dangerous. Ryan drove without speaking much. His mind was focused on the journey ahead and the memories it stirred. He had not visited the desert facility in over 10 years. The machines there were supposed to be dead. But now with Mira, he knew something had survived. Something human. They stopped once at a small rest station. Mira stepped out and looked at the dry, cracked earth around them. "It's so different from the city," she said. "Quiet, empty." "That's why Eden was built here," Ryan said. "Far from the crowds. Far from people who might interfere. But the machines inside, they remember. They still run, powered by old energy sources. We just have to reach them before the timer ends." Mira shivered, not from the cold, but from fear and anticipation. She felt her heart pulse against the device. Each beat seemed louder, each second heavier. Ryan put a hand on her shoulder. "You are stronger than you think. Whatever the project made you from, you are still human. You still have your own will. And that will is what will save you." Mira nodded. "I hope so." The rest of the journey was tense. The desert winds whipped against the car and strange shadows moved across the sand. Mira kept her eyes on the device, watching the countdown slowly tick away. 2 days, 12 hours, 34 minutes. When they finally reached the facility, it loomed ahead like a giant frozen skeleton. Its walls were cracked, its doors rusted. The sun reflected off the broken glass and metal, creating a shimmer of light that seemed almost magical. "This place hasn't seen life in 10 years, Ryan said quietly. "Most people believe it is empty. But the core, the system, it is waiting." Mira looked at the tall, silent building. Her chest tightened. She could feel the pulse of the timer. She could feel the pull of her own heart and the strange connection to the place inside. "Are you ready?" Ryan asked. She nodded, gripping the device. "I'm ready." Together they stepped inside. The doors creaked as they opened. The air smelled of old metal and dust. Machines hummed faintly, almost like they were alive. Panels flickered, lights blinked, and somewhere deep inside a soft voice whispered, "Primary key detected. Subject reactivation in progress." Mira froze. "It knows me," she whispered. Ryan's hand tightened around hers. "Yes," he said. "It knows you. And now we have to prove we can control it. We have to make sure you survive." They walked down the long corridor toward the core chamber. Every step echoed. Machines lined the walls like silent sentinels, watching, waiting. Mira felt the hum under her skin grow stronger. The countdown continued. 2 days, 11 hours, 50 minutes. Somewhere in the distance, a panel lit up fully. Numbers, images, and faint traces of memory flickered on screens. And then a small, warm light appeared at the end of the hall. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat, like hope. Mira took a deep breath. She felt fear, but also determination. She would survive. She would live. Ryan looked at her and smiled faintly. "We are going to fix this together." For the first time in 10 years, Ryan felt a spark of hope. The past that shouldn't exist had returned, and it was alive, human, and waiting to be saved. The desert stretched endlessly under the pale sun. Wind swept over cracked stone and scattered sand, carrying the faint hum of distant machinery. Mira and Rian walked toward the massive facility, the abandoned Eden core looming ahead like a silent giant. Every step echoed across the empty halls of sand, a reminder of how alone they truly were. Mira held the small device tightly to her chest. The numbers glowed in soft blue. 2 days, 9 hours, 45 minutes. Each tick of the countdown felt heavier than the last. She could feel it in her chest, in the pulse of her artificial heart. It was not a normal heartbeat. It was a warning. Rian walked beside her, his mind focused on the mission ahead. The core was alive. Somehow it had survived, waiting for the primary key to activate it. Mira was that key. Her presence alone allowed the system to respond. Every step closer to the facility made the hum of the machines stronger, almost like the building was breathing. "We are close," Ryan said quietly. "Keep the device steady. Your heart's signal is what will guide the system. The stronger it is, the safer it will be." Mira nodded. She felt nervous, but a strange sense of purpose flowed through her. She was not just a child. She was a bridge between life and machine, between the past and the future. The entrance to the facility was massive. Rusted steel doors hung crooked on their hinges, but the key symbols on the surface glowed faintly, as if recognizing Mira. Ryan reached out and pressed the crest of his hand against the panel. It reacted immediately. A soft hum filled the air. Then the doors slid open with a low groan. Inside, the facility was dark, almost pitch black. Dust floated through the air, and the smell of old metal filled their nostrils. Machines lined the walls, some flickering, others silent, their screens blank. The hum of energy grew stronger as they moved deeper. Mira's device pulsed in rhythm with the system. 2 days, 9 hours, 30 minutes. She could feel the countdown pressing closer, urging them forward. Rian led her down the corridor. Every step echoed against metal floors and walls. The facility felt alive, watching. Screens flickered with faint memories showing children, rooms, and machines that had not been touched in a decade. "Stay close," Ryan whispered. "Some of the old protocols are still active. We do not know what defenses the system might have." As they turned a corner, a faint light appeared ahead. It grew brighter with each step until the chamber opened before them. The core room was massive, filled with machinery that stretched from floor to ceiling. Lights blinked across panels and wires ran like veins through the room. The hum of energy was louder here, almost overwhelming. At the center stood a platform surrounded by glowing conduits. The Eden core pulsed gently as if alive. Mira stepped forward. She could feel the connection between her device and the system. It was not just mechanical. It responded to her emotions, to her heartbeat. Rian placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is it. The core is waiting for you. Do not be afraid. Your strength is what will bring it to life." Mira took a deep breath and placed her device onto the platform. The blue light spread across the surface, and the core responded instantly. Panels lit up, showing streams of data, images of children, and traces of memory sequences. Mira gasped. "It's alive," she whispered. "It knows me." "Yes," Ryan said. "It recognizes you as the primary key. Now we have to stabilize it or the countdown will catch up to you." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the chamber. The hum of the core became distorted, creating a low, vibrating sound that made the floor tremble. Mira stumbled slightly. "What's happening?" she asked, fear creeping into her voice. Rian's eyes narrowed. "Someone else is here. Government agents must have detected the signal. They will try to shut the system down. We have to move fast." Before they could react, the doors burst open. Figures in dark uniforms entered, moving quickly toward the platform. Their weapons were advanced, non-lethal but designed to disable technology and people alike. Ryan stepped in front of Mira, holding his hands up. "Stop! This child is not dangerous. She is part of the system. She is alive." The agents hesitated for a moment, scanning the room. But the core pulsed stronger than ever. Mira could feel it. The connection between her device and the system was alive and powerful. It was responding to her will. One agent moved forward, trying to reach the platform. Mira felt a surge of energy through her chest. A pulse of light shot from her device, striking the agent and pushing him back. He fell to the floor, stunned but unharmed. Rian pulled Mira closer. "Keep your focus. Do not let fear control you. You are stronger than any of them think." Mira closed her eyes. She could feel the core, the energy, the memories of the children who had been saved and lost. She thought of her mother, of the warmth she had seen in the old images. She thought of Ryan, the man who had found her and believed in her. Her pulse grew stronger. The blue light spread from her device across the platform, through the conduits into the machinery. The core stabilized. The alarm stopped, the red lights dimmed, and the agents froze, sensing the overwhelming energy in the room. Rian looked at her in awe. "You did it," he said softly. "You are stronger than I ever imagined. The system, it is responding to you, not just as a machine, but as a person. Your emotions, your will, it is powering the core." Mira opened her eyes, feeling a sense of wonder. She was not just a child. She was a bridge between life and technology. She could survive. She could live, but the countdown continued. 2 days, 8 hours, 10 minutes. There was still time, but not much. Ryan turned to the agents, who were now frozen in place. "We do not want to fight," he said firmly. "Leave this place. The child is alive and the system is under control. Any attempt to interfere will fail." For a long moment, the agents hesitated. Then slowly they backed away, disappearing through the doors. The hum of the core returned to a calm rhythm and the red lights went out. Mira collapsed onto the platform, exhausted. Her heart raced, not from fear, but from the effort of controlling the energy of the system. Ryan knelt beside her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You are incredible," he said. "I have never seen anything like this. You are part human, part machine, but all of you is alive. All of you is real." Mira looked at him, tears in her eyes. "I felt it. I felt all of them. The children. I felt my mother. And I felt you, I think. I think I remember you from my dreams. Ryan smiled faintly, his chest heavy with emotion. You do, and now we have to move forward. There is still more to do. The system is stable, but it is not complete. We have to reconnect the memories fully. That is the only way to ensure you survive. Mira nodded. She felt a strange mixture of fear and hope. The countdown continued, but now she had a plan, a purpose. She was not alone. Rian led her deeper into the facility. They passed rows of machines, some inactive, some flickering with faint lights. Screens displayed sequences of memories, images of children, families, and moments of happiness. Mira could see herself among them, though she did not remember being there. This is what Eden was meant to be, Rian said softly. A place to preserve life, to save those who could not survive. But it was abandoned too soon. We have a chance to finish it, to make it right. Mira placed her hand on one of the glowing panels. She felt the energy hum beneath her fingers. It was warm, alive, and waiting. She could feel the connection to the memories of her mother, to the children who had been saved and lost. She could feel the presence of Ryan guiding her, believing in her. The countdown, she said, looking at the device. 2 days, 6 hours, 45 minutes. We will manage it, Rian said. Together, we will make sure you survive. You have the strength, Mira. Your emotions, your heart. It is what makes you human. And that is stronger than any machine. They reached a smaller chamber closer to the heart of the core. Wires stretched like veins, machines hummed with energy, and the air felt charged. Mira placed the device on a platform in the center. The light spread again, stronger this time, reaching every corner of the room. Rian began entering commands, old codes from the original project. He worked quickly, carefully, guiding the system while Mira provided the energy, the will, and the emotional pulse. Suddenly, the screens flickered with images of a girl, smiling, waving. Mira recognized her immediately. It was her. But also, somehow, it was another version of herself, a memory preserved from the original Project Eden. I remember her, Mira whispered. That's me. From before? Yes, Ryan said. You are both the child of the project and yourself. That is why the system responds to you. It recognizes both. It needs both to survive. The countdown continued, but now they were closer than ever. The core stabilized, powered not just by machinery but by human emotions. Mira realized something profound. She was alive because she wanted to live, because she had hope, because someone believed in her. The chamber was quiet now, though the hum of the Eden core filled the air with a steady vibrating energy. The glow of machines reflected off the walls, casting shadows that danced like memories frozen in time. Mira stood in the center, her device resting on the platform. The light pulsed gently, matching her heartbeat. Ryan watched her carefully. His eyes were tired, his face lined with years of regret, but there was a determination that had not left him in a decade. The system was stable, responding to Mira's presence and emotional energy, but it was not complete. He knew what had to be done. The system needs full synchronization, Ryan said. We must merge your memories fully with the original data from Project Eden. Only then can it save you completely. Mira looked up at him, uncertainty in her eyes. Merge my memories? Will it hurt? Ryan shook his head. Not hurt, but it is risky. The system will draw energy from the human connection. It might be dangerous for me. It could take everything I have. Mira's small hand went to her chest. I don't want you to get hurt. I want to live, but I don't want you to die for me. Rian knelt to her level. You are stronger than you realize. This system is powered by more than machines. It responds to human emotion, to care, to love. Your connection to me and mine to you is the key. But it requires a choice. Mira took a deep breath. I trust you. Ryan stood, straightening his coat, and placed his hands on the device. The light responded immediately, brighter than before. Streams of data flickered across the screens, forming images of children, memories and moments of happiness and loss. Mira could see herself, her mother, and fragments of Ryan's late daughter. This is the final step, Ryan said. I can merge fully with the system to stabilize it permanently, but it will take part of my life energy. It is the only way to ensure you survive. Mira's eyes widened. You would give your life for me? Ryan shook his head. Not for you alone. For all of it. For every child this project tried to save. For the mistakes of the past. For the chance to make it right. Mira hesitated. Her device pulsed faster, her heart fluttering. She could feel the energy of the system, the memory traces and the hum of life itself flowing through the core. She could sense the pull of the connection, the merging of past and present, human and machine. "I don't want you to die," she whispered. "You won't let me," Ryan said. "We will do this together." The system responds to emotion. Your will, your desire to live, strengthens it, but it will also draw from me. I have to be willing to share that energy. Mira placed her small hand on his. The warmth of human touch flowed through the connection. For the first time in years, Ryan felt a sense of hope that was not just technical, but deeply personal. Mira was alive. She was real. And she wanted to survive. The countdown continued. 1 day, 12 hours, 30 minutes. Time was slipping away, but Ryan felt that they could do it. He began the synchronization sequence. His fingers moved quickly over the console, entering old codes and reactivating memory channels. Lights flickered, machines hummed louder, and the core pulsed in response. Mira's device glowed brighter, and she could feel the energy flowing from her chest through the platform and into the system. The first wave of memory data began to merge. Images of children flashed across the screens. Mira could see herself as a baby, her mother holding her, Ryan's late daughter smiling from a memory long past. It was overwhelming. The system responded to her recognition of the memories, her emotions amplifying the energy. Suddenly, the core pulsed violently. Sparks flew from a nearby panel. Ryan shouted, "Stay focused, Mira. Use your mind. Think of your family, your life, your memories." Mira closed her eyes tightly. She concentrated on everything she knew, everything she remembered. She thought of the streets of Valora, the rain, the warmth of the mansion, the kindness in Ryan's eyes. She thought of the woman on the screens, the mother she had never truly met but whose presence she felt strongly. The core responded. The spark ceased. The hum became steady and the light spread evenly across the chamber. Ryan watched as Mira's connection grew stronger. She was not just a key. She was the system itself. But the energy draw from Ryan was immense. His hands trembled over the console. His breath came in short gasps. Mira opened her eyes and saw him struggling. "Ryan," she shouted, "stop! You are giving too much." He smiled weakly. "No, Mira, this is part of it. I can do it. You have to survive. The system cannot function fully without my connection. My energy, my memories, my will. It all feeds it." Mira's device pulsed rapidly. The countdown slowed slightly. 1 day, 10 hours, 50 minutes. She could feel her heartbeat stabilizing as the system absorbed the energy from both of them. Suddenly, a warning flashed across the console. The system detected a potential overload. The energy levels were approaching critical. Ryan's strength was fading. Mira's pulse quickened in fear. "You have to stop," she shouted. "We cannot risk you dying." Ryan shook his head. "Not yet. I can hold it, trust me. We are almost there. We just need a little more." The system pulsed again, brighter than ever. Images of children, families, and memories merged into one. Mira could feel the presence of her mother, Ryan's late daughter, and herself all flowing together. It was as if time itself had folded into the chamber. Her voice trembled. I remember my mother. I remember my life. I am here. I am real." Ryan smiled faintly, sweat running down his face. "And that is all that matters. Your life, your memories, that is what keeps the system alive. You are alive, Mira. You are real." The final synchronization sequence began. Energy flowed from Mira, from Ryan, and through the platform into the core. The light enveloped the entire chamber. The hum became a deep, resonating tone that shook the walls. Mira felt herself lifted slightly as the energy connected her fully to the system. She was aware of everything at once, the children, the memories, the love, the loss. She realized that her existence was no longer just her own. She was part of something greater, a bridge between human and machine, past and future. Ryan's strength was fading. His face was pale and he struggled to maintain the connection. Mira reached out with her mind, sending waves of emotion and will to him. She wanted him to live. She wanted to survive, but not at the cost of him. "Ryan, focus on me. Focus on your memories with me. Do not let the system take you," she shouted. Ryan's eyes met hers. He smiled, exhausted but full of love. "I trust you, Mira. You are stronger than me. You are the future." With that, Mira poured every ounce of her being into the core. The system responded instantly. The energy stabilized, flowing evenly between Mira and Ryan. The warnings disappeared. The hum became calm and steady. Mira opened her eyes fully. The device in her hands no longer counted down. The blue glow was steady, warm, and alive. The core responded to her heartbeat alone. Ryan sank to the floor, exhausted but alive. Mira ran to him and held his hand. "You're alive," she whispered. "You didn't have to give everything. You're still here." He smiled faintly, tears in his eyes. "I never doubted you. Your strength, your heart, it saved both of us. The system is alive because of you." Because of us, Mira hugged him tightly. For the first time, she felt safe. She felt that she had survived, not because of machines, not because of technology alone, but because of human love, trust, and courage. The chamber was quiet again. The lights of the core dimmed to a steady glow, machines humming softly in harmony. Mira's device pulsed gently, a reminder that she was alive, fully alive, human and whole. Ryan looked around the chamber, finally letting himself relax. "We did it, Mira, you are safe. The system is stable. Project Eden, it is complete at last." Mira smiled up at him. "We did it together," Ryan nodded. "Yes, together." Outside, the desert sun began to set, casting warm golden light across the facility. The storm from days before was gone, leaving only calm and quiet. Mira and Ryan walked to the entrance, looking out at the vast desert. She felt the energy of life around her, the pulse of humanity, and the certainty that she belonged in this world. "This is just the beginning," Ryan said softly. "The future is ours to shape. And humanity is stronger than any machine." Mira nodded. "We will make it right. I know we will." Together they stepped out into the fading sunlight. The countdown had ended. Mira had survived, and the choice had been made, not just by Ryan, but by human courage, will, and love. The first light of morning touched the desert, painting the broken facility with soft gold and pink hues. Mira woke slowly, blinking against the brightness. The cool air brushed her face, carrying the faint scent of sand and metal. For the first time in days, she felt completely safe. Her device no longer glowed urgently. It pulsed gently, warm and steady, a rhythm that matched her own heartbeat. She sat up and looked around. Ryan was still asleep on a chair near the platform, his head tilted slightly, hands resting on the console. His chest rose and fell with each slow breath. Mira smiled quietly, careful not to wake him yet. She had survived. She was alive. And she had a future. The room was calm now. The hum of machines blended into silence. Eden Core stood at the center, no longer pulsing violently but radiating a soft, even glow. It had responded to Mira's strength, her emotions, and the courage that had guided her through the synchronization. It had not needed Ryan to sacrifice himself. They had both survived. Mira walked slowly to the platform, touching the cool surface with her hands. She could feel the energy still flowing beneath it. It was alive, yes, but it no longer dominated her. It was part of her world, a creation of human ingenuity and human heart working together. Finally, Ryan stirred. He blinked, then stretched, his face relaxed for the first time in years. "Morning," he said softly, his voice hoarse but warm. "Morning," Mira replied, smiling. "You slept well?" He nodded. "Better than I have in a long time, I guess." "We both needed it," Mira looked at him. "Did it really work? Did I survive because of the system?" Ryan smiled faintly, standing up and brushing the dust from his coat. "Yes, Mira, but more than that, you survived because you believed in yourself, because you trusted me, and because you never gave up. The system responded to life, to human strength. Not just machines. You brought it to life." Mira's heart swelled with pride. She had been scared, but now she understood the truth. Machines alone could not save anyone. Technology could preserve data, build structures, or create tools. But it was human courage, hope, and love that truly gave life its power. Outside the facility, the desert was calm. Mira and Ryan stepped out together. The sun climbed higher, warming the cold metal of the building. Birds, tiny and fragile, chirped somewhere in the distance. A breeze carried the scent of desert flowers blooming among the rocks. Mira held her device in her hands. She looked at it thoughtfully. The countdown was gone. The numbers no longer mattered. She had survived the days that seemed impossible. She had won. Ryan watched her quietly. "You did it," he said. I never doubted you for a second, but now, we have to think about what comes next. Eden is alive again, and there is much to do. This system can help children, families, anyone who needs it. But we must be careful, and we must be ready. Mira nodded. I want to help. I want to make sure no child has to be alone or scared like I was. Ryan's eyes softened. You remind me of someone very dear to me. You remind me of my daughter. And maybe, in some way, you are her. The memories, the heart, the love, it has carried forward. You are part of her, and yet you are yourself. Mira looked up at him. I remember her sometimes. I remember a warm smile, a voice telling me to hold on. And I remember you even before I met you. Ryan knelt beside her, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. Then we are lucky. We have a chance to honor what was lost. You survived, Mira. And now together we can make a difference. They walked back toward the main facility. Inside, the core room glowed softly, but the machines were quiet. Screens displayed streams of memory, images of children safe and happy. Mira could see herself in some of the recordings, smiling, laughing, living a life that had once seemed impossible. Ryan moved through the room, touching panels lightly, checking readings. Everything is stable. The system is responding well. We could leave it now and you would continue to live without danger. But I think we both know. We cannot ignore what this means. Eden can do more. It can save lives. And it can teach humanity something important. Mira looked up at him. What does it teach? That technology is only as good as the people who use it, Ryan said. Machines can preserve life, but they cannot give hope, love, or courage. That is human. That is why you survived. And that is why humanity will always be stronger than any machine. Mira smiled. She felt proud, not because of the system, not because of the technology, but because of herself. She had fought, she had believed, and she had lived. Outside the facility, the desert seemed alive. Light reflected off every surface, warming the broken metal and shining on the sand. A flock of birds took flight, soaring into the morning sky. Mira and Ryan watched them silently. Do you think the world is ready for Eden again? Mira asked. Ryan thought for a moment. It will take time. People fear what they do not understand. But we will show them. We will show them that life, guided by human heart, is worth saving. We will show them that hope is stronger than fear. Mira's device glowed softly. It was no longer a countdown. It was a heartbeat, a rhythm of life. She held it to her chest, feeling warmth and strength. Ryan, she said, I want to live. Not just survive, but really live. I want to help others to make the world better. He smiled, pride in his eyes. And you will. You are stronger than you know. You have already done more than anyone could imagine. The future is yours. The two of them walked toward the edge of the facility, looking back once at the place that had held so much fear, so much hope. The Eden core pulsed faintly in the background, quiet but alive. Mira could feel it, a part of her now, but no longer controlling her. It was a partner, not a master. In the distance, the city of Valora shimmered under the morning light. Mira thought of the people she had seen, of the streets she had walked, and of the life she had left behind. She felt a sense of belonging now, not to a building or a system, but to the world itself. Ryan looked at her and placed a hand gently on her shoulder. Are you ready? Mira nodded. Yes, I am ready. Together they turned and walked toward the desert road. They did not know what the future would hold, but they knew one thing for certain. Human courage, love, and hope had saved the day. The system was powerful, but humanity was stronger. Somewhere in the depths of the Eden records, a new message appeared. A simple line of text glowing softly on the screens. Humanity, still the greatest power in the universe. Mira looked at Ryan and smiled. We did it together. Yes, he said, his voice full of warmth. Together. The sun climbed higher, the desert glowing with life and possibility. Mira took a deep breath, feeling hope, strength, and the certainty that she was alive for a reason. Ryan watched her, a quiet smile on his face. For the first time in years, he felt peace. The past had been reconciled, the future was bright, and the little girl who cried in the rain had taught him a lesson he had long forgotten. Life was not measured by machines or timers, but by human heart. Mira held her device one last time, feeling the warmth flow through her body. She had 3 days left once, or so she had thought. Now she had a lifetime ahead. Together, they walked toward the horizon, leaving behind the facility, the countdown, and the fear. They stepped into a world full of light, possibility, and life. And in that world, humanity's power was clear. Love, hope, courage, and resilience could overcome anything, even the greatest machines. The morning after, the world seemed new. And Mira, the little girl who had once cried for her life, laughed for the first time in weeks.